So my name is Ricky Gu from Vancouver, Canada. Together with Dr. John Meach of Mining Department, we are going to present you Bitcoin, the new gold for safe haven investment. So just a show of hands, like how many of you actually heard of Bitcoin? Oh, very good. How many knows what Bitcoin is? About half of that. Okay, well today I'm going to tell you what is Bitcoin. It is a virtual currency, open source, introduced in about 2009, so it's relatively new, and it has an anonymous creator named Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows who he is, and he disappeared off the planet. And it provides anonymous transaction, and it's a decentralized public ledger. In other words, it's magic internet money. So Bitcoin versus gold, I'm going to touch a little bit on that. And in the early days of Bitcoin, anybody can mine it. You just kind of run a computer, kind of like the picture on the left there, and you can mine, like, just keep your computer on, you can start mining. Kind of like the late 1800s where someone can just buy a shovel and start prospecting for gold. And as time went on, in about 2013, Bitcoin mines became more like that, and it cost multi-million-dollar to set up. Same as modern mine, where it costs billions to set up in that sense. So over time, you get a professionalization of these companies doing mining in both Bitcoin and gold. So Bitcoin and gold are both created through mining. It is decentralized. There's finite amount of Bitcoins, just like gold, and mining difficulty increases over time. So the more you mine Bitcoin, the harder it is to mine Bitcoin, just like gold, and eventually it's going to run out. Now the difference of Bitcoin versus gold is that Bitcoin is infinitely divisible. It could be, right now it's set at 8 decimal places, but it's a software, so you can change the software and make it more precise if needed to be split among more people. It could be sent instantaneously over the internet to anybody. And they don't even need the internet, they can just have the address in fact on their phone, or put on a sign with their QR code. Bitcoin has a negligible transaction fee. After a certain size of Bitcoin transaction, you don't even need a fee and it'll get confirmed. It's only a small transaction fee for a small Bitcoin transaction to avoid people from overflowing the network. And it's also very easily stored securely. You can actually remember this, what's called a private key, which is the key to your wallet in your head, and not have it or have it on a paper, or put it in a vault, or keep it on a computer. So Bitcoin mining, what is Bitcoin mining? Bitcoin mining is using computers with very high computation power to solve a probabilistic math problem. You can kind of think of it like guessing a number. And the only way to guess that number is to keep on trying new numbers. And once you get that right number, that's like you're shoveling the ground and you found that piece of gold. The more computational power is like more manpower to mine, and the more Bitcoin you mine. Now the beauty is that the rate that the Bitcoin is produced is constant. Right now it's at 25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And depends on how many people join to mine, it will always be 25 minutes or 25 Bitcoins. So the more people join, the less share each person will get. And if less people join, the more share each person will get. And the difficulty of that will adjust automatically based on how many people joins the network to mine. Essentially making it kind of like a game theory where I want to always have more computer power, but then my components will also have more computer power. In the end, it's kind of a lose-lose, but then but what happened is, the purpose of mining is that the more computation power there are to secure the network, the more secure the network, you can't attack it, because what the mining really does is it actually audits the validity of each transaction, and it prevents fraud. So it's not just like guessing number, it's actually making the network healthy. So this is a chart, I don't know if you can see, but it shows the difficulty increasing mining over the last year. And you see like around September 2013, it had a huge growth, exponential. Like you don't see that anywhere in any kind of industry to get that kind of growth. And that's because one of the reasons I showed you earlier is the picture of that, the professionalization of mining, is that people moving from their own computer to actually data centers worth multi-million dollars to actually mine these things, because these are valuable now, like billions of dollars of net worth. And yeah, like it went from homebrew to big data centers. And also, the result of that, a lot of people started investing in Bitcoins. Bitcoin was about like less than, I don't know, 1/10 of a cent in 2009 when it was introduced. And people were giving them up for free. You can go to a website and get 5 Bitcoins just for clicking a button. And slowly it went up, but in about November 2013, that's when the price really shot up to about $1,124 in US dollars per Bitcoin. And shortly after that, it crashed about 500. You can see it kind of went up and down the past few months. And today it's about $654. So it's still, like over the time, it still went up a huge amount of value. And because of that, it's gotten a lot of press coverage. And a lot of people really rich as well. So Bitcoin is it's a technical breakthrough. It transfers wealth securely, anonymously, safely, and instantaneously over the internet without a central authority. Nobody can control it, nobody can shut it down. It is on the internet. And it's constantly being improved because it's an open source software. It's also social engineering breakthrough because the way it's designed that it incentivizes multiple parties to involve, like all the stakeholders, miners, they want to have, they want Bitcoin to succeed because everybody will benefit from it. I want to talk a little bit about Silk Road. It was what's called an eBay for drugs. And because Bitcoin is anonymous, people were selling drugs on this website called Silk Road, which FBI eventually shut down last year. And they ended up selling their assets on just a few days ago, actually. It's currently, I think the auction just closed either yesterday, so they haven't announced yet what the price is, but then the speculate is that they sold about 29,000 Bitcoins for almost like $20 or $25 million. In fact, more than what the market price is, because people wanted to, like, you have institutional investors actually wanted to get in on Bitcoin in large quantities, and going to the actual open market would just drive the price up. And when they saw the opportunity, they went and bid on from the government for this what's called drug money, and that was closed about, I think, yesterday. This website called Mt. Gox used to be the largest Bitcoin exchange. Now, if you're wondering how you buy Bitcoin, there's a website called Bitcoin Exchange. It's kind of like stock market. You open an account, you deposit some money, and you can trade. You can sell it. You can buy. Mt. Gox was one of the biggest. They were doing multi-million-dollar transaction per day. And in February, they claimed that they lost 850,000 Bitcoins. Nobody really knows the real story yet. Like, they're not really talking. They're getting investigated. And that was worth about $450 million. So it's like, imagine your bank one day say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just lost $500 million of your money. Good luck." And that's what happened. I actually lost money in that Bitcoin or the exchange myself as well. So they're currently in bankruptcy. There's some regulatory issues. Most government don't know what to do about it. Like, it's very new. In fact, very few people even understand about it. Like, I personally need to study it I spend a lot of time studying it to be able to get it. And most people, when they hear about it, they don't get it, so especially governments. But the interesting thing is US IRS, Internal Revenue System, they actually claim Bitcoin is a property, so they acknowledge it, that it's legal, so, and it's taxable. So if you make money off of Bitcoin, you have to pay tax on it. And Canadian government, actually just on June 23rd, so that's a few days ago, they passed a bill called C-31 to regulate Bitcoin businesses. So now you can actually run Bitcoin businesses legally through Canada by going through all the paperwork required. We'll also touch a little bit based on what's called alternative currencies. Because Bitcoin is open source, anybody can improve or modify the source code of it. And what people did was, like, they took Bitcoin source code and modified some parameters and created their own coin. So for example, Litecoin, that was one of the first. They changed how fast each transaction is confirmed, and they changed the algorithm for actually solving that probabilistic mining math problem. And they claim that because it's a different, it was what's called the basic proof. So people have to use the regular computer. It was designed so that the big company can come in and Namecoin, for example, they changed it so that you can store name servers on the blockchain and create another feature. Basically enables you to create your own website domain names servers without government intervention. Like right now, all the .com domain names are controlled by government. Government can say, oh, you can't have that domain anymore and shut it down, but this creates a distributed version of that. So a lot of innovation is happening in the Bitcoin space, and they're kind of spinning off the original Bitcoin idea and creating these alternative currencies. And the last one is Dogecoin. That one just kind of started off as a joke. They're like, okay, let's make this funny meme coin. And within about a month of launch, it went to $1 million market cap. So the people who created it went from created nothing into $1 million in a few weeks, and now it's about $23 million, and it's actually a very big community of doing that. Oh, also the difference of Dogecoin is that because Bitcoin is finite, Dogecoin made a change to that to make it infinite. So some people say, oh, Bitcoin is going to die because it's finite, it's going to deflate. But they say, oh, let's make Dogecoin that will always get more and more. So these are alternative currencies. And so the future of Bitcoin is there's a growing amount of ecosystem of businesses, like a lot of venture capitalists investing in Bitcoin businesses. More and more merchants are starting to accept Bitcoin, like Expedia accept Bitcoin, so you can actually book hotels on it with Bitcoin. MIT gave every student, every undergrad student, $100 in Bitcoin, and a lot of Wall Street involvement. So you'll have a Bitcoin ETF and a lot of regulated exchanges coming up. So in conclusion, Bitcoin is magic internet money. It's never seen before in history. There was a huge growth in the last year, and the future is very exciting on where it's going to go. And that concludes my presentation, and I'll be glad to take some questions.